Hello, Bible readers. It is Friday, May 14th. We're starting Ezekiel chapters 1 through 4 and then Revelation 5 to 6. So for Ezekiel, it's good to, as we go into this book, be reminded of some of the dates. I know I'm a history major, and it does help, though, to understand the time and place that Jeremiah, Ezekiel, Lamentations even is being written from. So the temple is destroyed in 587 BC. That is a big date. There's a few dates that just, if you're an American, 1776, we know what that means. This is one of those. 587 is when the temple is destroyed. Israel, though, first submits to King Nebuchadnezzar, the Babylonians, 10 years before that, in 597. So there's 10 years where Babylon has won and has started to deport people to Babylon, the elite mostly, the king, his mother, his family, priests, all kinds of thousands of, they called it a brain drain from Jerusalem. That goes on for 10 years before the temple is destroyed. Ezekiel has oracles in this book we'll be reading from as early as 593. So there will be 6 years worth of oracles that Ezekiel writes down that are talking about the impending doom of Jerusalem. Not that Jerusalem hasn't already been defeated by Babylon, but the temple hasn't been destroyed yet. And so they're still holding on to the temple. Well, the temple's still there. And so Ezekiel is prophesying things about how, hey, this is happening. The temple's in trouble. I was going to read a bit from my commentary. There's 3 major sections to Ezekiel. The first consists primarily of oracles of doom against Judah and Jerusalem. The second, which is chapters 25 to 32, are going to be mostly about oracles against foreign nations and rulers. And then the third section, chapters 33 to 48, are going to be oracles concerning Israel's future restoration. A familiar pattern. So you're doomed. The other nations are also, but God is one to keep our hope in, as there will be restoration. And then there's these 4 vision reports that Ezekiel has. And when we come across those, we will know it. Ezekiel witnesses a vision in which the glory of God comes to him over Babylonia in a storm cloud and blazing light. There's, of course, the valley filled with dry bones. And there's 4 of these kinds of visions that Ezekiel will tell us about. Finally, why would God allow God's people to remove from Jerusalem and have the temple destroyed? That's one of the primary questions that Ezekiel tries to answer. The Lord acts to preserve the Lord's holy name. Unholy actions of God's people couldn't be tolerated. And so that's really at the ground of why this is all happening in the way it does. To Revelation, chapter 5, the lion from the tribe of Judah turns out to be a fluffy lambkins. Lamb power is happening in Revelation chapter 5. The 5th chapter of Revelation is the pivotal chapter of the book. What comes from chapter 5 and on is the opening of seals, leading to trumpet blasts, and pouring out bowls of wrath. It all starts in seeing where God's power comes from, a slaughtered lamb. A slaughtered lamb is shown to be the one who can wield the power of God. Here's something deep, I thought, as I read through it. Humanity is not transformed in chapter 5. Heaven is. We see that heaven has been transformed by the slaughter of the lamb. Humanity is not the one that's changed. God does not attain power or authority through violence, but through the death of the lamb. The secret of the heart of God and how humanity gains access to that heart are rooted in the death of the lamb. The consequences of the lamb's slaughter affect the whole universe, including heaven. Okay, and finally, chapter 6, the commentary I read said, theologians long to tie up loose ends. explain things. But texts like Revelation deny them the privilege, offering little sign of dealing with the questions they seek to have answered. Chapter 6 starts a series of chapters that are filled with lots of symbols, and they're all leading to talk more about who is God and what is God up to as a God of hope. I am one with my God. My God is with us, all of us at all times and in all places.